Where do you see the startup world heading, or the VC world heading?
Because I thought as a leader, I just had to just soak it up, do whatever I can, just keep going, going, going. And I knew something wasn't right, but nobody could help figure out what was happening. A lot of what you're doing, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your team, you can't take care of your family, you can't take care of your community, and you'll start seeing trickling effects. It's a domino effect eventually. So
besides work is mindfulness practices and breath work and anything around keeping yourself healthy and well and balanced. And that's it. You live in San Francisco, where half of the city is are VCs and half of the city are startups. So you probably have been in the startup environment, and we're also a startup, work with companies. Where do you see the startup world heading, or the VC world heading, in business terms and also in mindfulness terms?
So when I think about organizations and startups, as part of the Women in APIs, I've tried to bring mindfulness into the API ecosystem. But at the same time, when I think about startups and everything that we're having lived in San Francisco for over 10 years, seeing the busy factor and trying to keep up with change, keep up with what's happening around, it can sometimes, if you are not working on the right things and if you're just on the go, pretty much, it your personal life, it can put a strain on your mental well-being, and if you don't notice it, then it becomes very hard. So one of the uh, big awakenings I would say that I had was I was going through a lot of stress and anxiety over the past couple of years. For the pandemic, Feb 2020 was when I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and I didn't even know that was a term, that was a thing, because I thought as a leader I just had to just soak it up, do whatever I can, just keep going, going, going. And I realized, like, around 2019, I was in pilot mode. I was there, but I wasn't really there, and I knew something wasn't right, but nobody could help figure out what was happening. And then I think I had my own waves of coming out of it and figuring out like what really matters and what I want to. And I think that's when figuring out, like, as a startup, if you are trying to do too many things at once, right? Oftentimes you're like, okay, I need to find my product market fit, and this is where my focus is. I need to do whatever it takes to get there. But you also have to be thinking about your in life, because a lot of what you're doing, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your team, you can't take care of your family, you can't take care of your community, and you'll start seeing trickling effects. It's a domino effect eventually. So I encourage everybody to pay attention to what you're doing. um, I know we have the startup craziness in SF where it's like you're working days and nights and weekends, and trust me, it's not sustainable and it's not a healthy work environment as well, right? You want to create environments uh, thriving, so people can actually thrive and they feel like, okay, I'm actually doing something that's helping and contributing to the bigger ecosystem, the bigger community. And so that's where I would focus and try to see if you can get that alignment, making it work.
Yeah, I think what you said is really important, and that has been my message for a long time. When building anything, you need to be strong yourself. You need to, be mindful about how you use your time. It's like, it's great. I'm leading a startup right now as well, so I'm in the startup industry myself, and we need to, I think, understand as leaders and entrepreneurs that especially when we make a choice to found a startup, we need to be very much aware of how we use our time, because it's obvious that you are going to be working, late hours, and you're going to be working more than anyone else, like maybe even 10 times more. And we need to be aware that we're making that conscious choice. And in that 5 to 6 years, whatever, you need two things. You need yourself to stay healthy and well, and then you need to keep on working. So if we think like, because that's what I see in the startup founders, that's why they, I think, burn out, because they think they can build a startup and keep on socializing. Or they can build a startup or keep on, drinking and partying, or they can build a startup and, go out shopping or traveling. It's like we need to, I think, understand we're making a choice by building a startup, and we need time and we need energy. So the second thing you can do, besides work, is mindfulness practices and breath work and anything around keeping yourself healthy and well and balanced. And that's it. Your life will be keeping yourself balanced, strong and well, and working. Those two things. And I think, understanding that it's like it makes things so much easier. Just let go of all the socializing and the partying and the watching Netflix for a couple of years, like for 6 years, 5 years, whatever. Just let them go. Just focus on your own health and focus on your startup. And then you eventually can reach your goals without losing your mind and losing your health. I think the reason why people are burned out and tired and stressed is because two things: they don't value their time, and they think they can live the life they lived before founding a startup, which is impossible. And they think they can keep on working like that without stopping, and that's a mistake. It's like you need to balance the effort and the pause. And because you need a lot of pauses, because you are working a lot, you just need to quit stuff. You just need to say no to other
make
things.
The choice,
Use your time wisely.
You have to bring
so I'm
your
sure
mind,
you're
body, and soul.
teaching that as well.
You're basically trying and soul together. And these were some of my discoveries in early 2020, where I realized that, my sleep wasn't where I wanted it to be, or I wasn't sleeping well. I was feeling tired all the time. My food, what I put in is what I more attention to balanced nutrition, to intermittent fasting. I realized the importance of walking, how much your body, your mind is also interconnected with exercise and walking. So you have to make sure you're bringing those aspects together. And if you don't pay attention, at the end of the day, it starts affecting your memory. And that's when I really had my big, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like I always took pride out of my, like the things I could remember. My friends would say, how do you still remember birthdays? Like friends that are like 20, 25 years before. And they're like, I don't know, somehow it's like engraved in my mind. But if you ask me what I ate last week, I might not remember. So like you'll start noticing some of these things. And when I started taking care of eating healthy and making sure I get at least 30 minutes of a walk every day, like I have put my schedule such that I know that I don't have to work the full day, the full night, or full weekend. I can be smart about the time. Like time is money is how I like to think of it. And so I've prioritized to say Monday to Thursday is for mentoring, for teaching, for work, any product marketing projects that I'm working on. And then my Friday to Sunday is all about my self-care. So I literally have my Fridays as me time. This is my finding my happiness. And I like to think of Sunday as my time for exploring, traveling, food, whatever brings joy for me, right? So finding that right balance is important. And I'm a big believer of the 4-day work week, because I haven't seen me as productive as I've seen myself in the past year. No, like I completely believe that the whole 9 to 5 doesn't really are the most productive. And that's usually my mornings. And I can get things done much more effectively when I have like a mindful calendar. Like before I would be in meetings and I would be trying to eat my lunch, and I know I was neither in the meeting nor in enjoying my lunch. And so now literally I have like on a my breakfast time, my lunch time, my dinner time, I have like a walk to remember 30 minutes that I put in, and then everything else is around it, right? Not that I'm cut shorting and finding shortcuts to do things, but I'm actually being intentional about what I do on a day-to-day basis. And it has definitely changed my life for sure.
Yeah. So remembering to take a breath, remembering to consciously
and that's
breathe.
why I'm fascinating what you're all doing. Yeah.